Good morning everyone, I am Hemant Mehta and in today's session we are going to discuss about the HTTP session interface using JSP. It is the same interface which were available in your servlet. Now on screen you can see the list of methods available with the HTTP session interface. The first method, there is a get attribute. You can pass the name of the attribute, you will get the corresponding name and the value for the attribute. Get attribute, provide the name, it will give the value. Get attribute names. The return type is enumeration. It will give you the list of objects which are available in your sessions. Get creation time. The return type is long. It will give you the time of the session when it was created. Get ID. Return type is string. It will give you the unique session ID for the ongoing session. Get last access time. The return type is long. This method will give you the timestamp of the session when the last recently the section has been accessed. Get max inactive interval. This will give you the maximum time interval in seconds. After that the session will be expire. Void invalidate. This method will use to validate the invalidate the session, meaning it will just close the session. Boolean is new. This method will check whether session is newly created or not. If yes, then it will return true, otherwise false. Remove attribute. It is going to accept one string argument and the return type is void. This method will remove the attribute from the session. Set attribute string name comma object value. It is going to accept two objects of type string and the object. This method will set the attribute in your session, that is a key value pair. Okay, the last method is set max inactive interval. It is going to accept one integer value. This method will accept one numerical integer value in the seconds, and after the seconds your session will expire or session will be invalidated. Let's see one demo program for the same. Okay, I have created one project for you, that is the JSP session demo. Now in this JSP file I have created object of the date class. Okay, first of all I'm just going to use session.getCreationTime. The return type is long. I can pass this long data type in the date class object. So I have just used the create time and the last access time to fetch out the session dot get last access time and the get creation time. Now basically what we are going to do in this project, let's say if request is going to be received for the first time, I'm just going to display a message welcome to my site, and I'm going to display session ID, creation time, last access time, username and the number of count. Initially the number of count would be 1. Let's say request is coming for multiple times, so my message would be welcome back to my site. Session creation time would remain same, last access time will change, username will remain same, and the number of count of hits for this page will be increased by 1 as and when the new request is received. So this thing we are going to perform. So for that purpose, first of all I have taken one string title variable having a welcome back to my website as a default value. I have created integer wrapper class object visit count, and one string class object. There is a visit key, there is a VC, a visit count key, VC key. So this is my VC key object, it is a visit count object, and the default value is 0. Now similarly I have taken two more objects, user ID key and the user ID. User ID will have the default value ABCD and the user ID key will have the default value user ID. Now first of all I am just going to check if session is newly created or not. So we are having one method session dot is new. If session is newly created, right, if session is newly created, then my message would be welcome to my website, and I need to set total number of count and the user name into the session. So I'm just going to say session.setAttribute. It is going to accept two objects, user ID key and the user ID. So in session, I'm having a one attribute, namely user ID key, and the corresponding value is coming from this object. Similarly, I'm having a session.setAttribute, VC key, that is the attribute, and the corresponding count will come from the visit count object of type integer. So this is done if my newly created session is there. If session is not newly created, right? If session is not newly created, so this if condition will false. So my control will come over here. First of all, I'm just going to fetch what is the current count. So I'm just going to have session.getAttribute VC key. So VC key will return the visit count, right? So visit count, and what is the type of the visit count object? That is a integer wrapper class, right? What is the type of the visit count object? That is a integer wrapper class. So over here I supposed to typecast into the integer, and I will store the fetch the value into the visit count. We are going to increment the value of visit count by 1. So we have incremented over here. Now I'm just going to fetch the name of the user. So session.getAttribute user ID key. User ID key will return me the user ID. In the user ID, I will have the name of the user. Now the only one thing is remaining. We need to update the newly incremented value into the session, because this value is incremented locally. We have to reflect this value in the session as well. So I'm just going to type session.setAttribute VC key, visit count. So this will set the new updated value in my session. Now I have just created one table. In the table, I'm just going to display the corresponding values. There is a ID, that is a session.getID. We are having a create time, we are having a last access time, then we are having a user ID over here and the visit count. So this is a normal table using a tr and td, and I'm just printing the data. That's it. So this is about the program. Let's execute this program. Okay, this request is received for the first time. So my message is welcome to my website. This is the creation time and the last access time. The default count is 1. User is ABCD and user ID is ADD, some unique session ID. Now, whenever I'm going to refresh for one more time, right over here, so what will happen? The new request will come once again, but session is already there. So session ID will remain same, creation time will remain same, last access time will change, and the number of visit will change. Let's see. I'm going to refresh the page. So it is welcome back to my website because session is not newly created. This is my creation time. This is my last access time. We cannot see the changes in the last access time because it is in the difference of milliseconds. The number of visits is 2. Let me refresh one more time. Okay, see the session ID will remain same. Again, this is a multiple request, so welcome back to my site. Last access time will change and the number of count will change. So this is all about session. Thank you.